In this video, what we're going to do is to understand what we can do to improve videos you've recorded. So in case you create talking head videos or you have a video and you're trying to improve the video and you have no clue or no idea what to do, this is how we're going to do it. So first, this is the, I'll just show you the after. Right, so this is the after, and you can see how interesting this clip looks. And then I'll just turn off all the settings, everything we've done to improve this video, and go back to the default setting. So by just looking at this, we can see that our colors are a bit washed out. We need to adjust the white balance. This ring light over here, we need to actually, this rainbow light, we need to see how we can improve this rainbow light color here and this section here to see how we can boost the saturation. We also need to learn how to work on the skin, and finally how to give it an overall look that will lock this project. We also see how we can improve the background using the built-in details we have. So let's create a new project. So I'll just go to File and say New Project, and I'll call this 300 for that new project, and I'll hit Create. And what I'll quickly do is to reset my workspace. So I'll go to Workspace and say Reset UI Layout. Now I recorded a vertical video. So let's go over to the gear icon at the bottom right. And let's say Use Vertical Resolution. That's going to help us set the resolution, and I'll hit Save. So we have a vertical resolution. I'm on the color page. So I'll just go ahead and I don't even need to go to the edit page. I'll just hit Control-I to import our footage. And this is the video I recorded. I'll just go ahead and hit open, and I'll change the frame rate to set that frame rate to the frame rate of this project. I recorded at 4K at 24 frames per second, which is what I'm using there. So I haven't created the project yet. I haven't dragged the video to the timeline, so we're not seeing it. So I'll just drag this to the timeline and just place it here. Now, this is the video in the timeline, and I just want a small section of the video. So I'll trim this edge, the intro like that, and I'll just slide over here. I just need a few seconds of the video because of this tutorial. I don't want to load everything in memory, and I'm not using the audio. So I'll hit this on link, click the audio, and hit Control-X to delete the audio. So we are left with only this short video. So let's also go to our timeline playback resolution. Let's set that to half. So we have something a bit memory managed. All right, cool. So now that we have that, let's head over to the color page, because it's at the color page we can do things like enhance how our image looks like. And if you want a little bit more space at the top here, click on clips to get that space, and then also click on gallery so that we only have the node view. So for this node view, I'll right click on this and go to node label, and I'll call this the base. And I usually leave the base alone. I do no such changes on the base. So the first thing I want to do is to add another node where I can start editing this video. So I'll hit Alt-S to create a serial, and I'll call this one, I'll right click, and I'll give it a node label. I'll call this one contrast, like so. And basically, I noticed there's a warm light on the right side of my face. I want to actually make the image slightly cooler, or slightly warmer rather. So I'll just go over here to the color temperature and just drag that like so to about 250, and that's okay. I don't want it to be too much, just to warm the image up a little bit. So next, what I want to do is to use a curve to adjust the white balance. So I hit Alt-S, and I'll right click, and I'll call this white balance. So what essentially is white balance? White balance we want our whites to really look white. We don't want our whites to look washed out or orangey or whatever. And to really look at that, we'll open up the parade, and basically what we're trying to do is equalize these RG and B channels. So here on the white balance, what I'm simply going to do is go over here to the gamma and then drag the gamma down a little bit like that. And for the lift, which is the shadows, I'll drag the shadows down a little bit like that as well. I don't want it to be below this line. And next, I'll click on our curves tool. So I'll click the curves and add one at the towards the bottom here and add one at the top. And I'll drag this down slightly just to have a little bit of contrast. And what I'll also do is to push this up a little bit so we can actually see that brightness and contrast. So next, let's actually look at our wheel. So I think that's good. Let's go back to our contrast node and go back to the color wheels. And what I want to do is to bump the saturation a little bit. So at the bottom here, we'll actually see saturation. Let's push that to about 55. We don't want it to be too much, just to bring back some of that color. And you can see already how this is looking, right? If we hit Control D, we actually disable a node so that we can see the effect without it, and hit Control D again to see that effect. So that's how you can disable a node to see how it looks like. So what else can we do? Let's work on these lights. So there's a left side and there's a right side for these lights. I'll actually work on them. Also, I want you to know that this pivot is going to help protect your skin tones. So I'll set it to about 0.6, 0.5, just to help the skin tones not get too overblown. So let's create another serial node. So I hit Alt S, and what I want to do is to boost the saturation of this color right here, the left side. So I'll right click and I'll go to node label. I'll call that left side saturation. And what I'll do is to go to the power window, which is called a window. And what I'll do is just place, we can use a circular window, but I like using a polygonal window because the polygon is going to help us just create a nice little selection around the shape like that. And this is what we have. So within this power window, what we're going to do is to increase the saturation. Now, the power window is simply a selection that's held in Resolve's memory, and it's going to help you basically apply an effect only in that region. Here, this shape that looks like this polygonal shape, any effect is going to be applied only within here. So the first thing we want to do is to go to our color wheels, and we'll just bump up the saturation a bit. So here is at 50. I'll just drag this to about 60, like so. And what I'll do is just smooth that out a little bit. So I'll go over here to the blur, and I'll just drag the blur up a little bit. And you can see we're blurring that just a tidbit. So again, if I hit Control D, that's the saturation off, and that's it. Like so. You can see we're boosting the colors just a bit. You can also boost the color by going over here to the lift and dragging that up like so. You can see you're making it slightly, warmer. And then since it's green, I'll go to the gain and start pushing that down. So you can see it's like slightly spilling. That's a really nice effect. So what I'm actually going to do is to do that to the right side as well. So I'll hit Alt S to create a serial node, right click, and I'll give it a node label. I'll call that right side. And that's going to be for the right side. And for the right side, we'll go over to the window, click on the pen tool, and draw a nice little shape around the right side like so. And I might actually want it to even spill out. And here on this right side, we'll repeat pretty much the same process. So the first thing we want to do, and we can also adjust using curves if we want. So here we'll go to the curve, and we'll just drag it down a bit. You can see what it's doing there. I don't want it to do that. And we'll just push this slightly up like so. And we'll go back to our color wheels. And this is slightly pink. So I'll go to the gamma, which is the midtone, and just push that slightly up. We can see what it's doing. And what we want to do is to soften that. I don't want that to be too much. So we can go to the gain as well and just push this up a little bit. So we have that spilling. And another way to add an effect is go over here to effects, and we can search for a box blur and drag it. And let me just move this with the middle mouse button. We can hold Alt and scroll up to increase the side, and I'll just drag a Gaussian blur on top of this, and you can see what that Gaussian blur is doing. So we'll just drag the strength down to about 0.2 or 0.1. And what I'll do to that mask, that power window, is to soften it, right? So we can actually see we have this edge here. We can soften that power window. So here where we have the softness, we can just go to soft and then drag that to about 5. And what that's going to do is to prevent it from creating those hard edges there. So you can actually see we've softened this. So if I hit Control D, this is it without it, and this is it with it. And it actually makes it look quite interesting because you can see how we're improving that background. So also for this background, it's the wall I'm actually recording. I would like to select this wall and then slightly push the color towards a cool color just to improve this background. So let's go ahead and do that. So our last clip here, I'll get rid of the effects. So for our right side, we'll hit Alt S, make sure you're clicking on right side, and I'll right click, and I'll call this background so we can improve the background. And this time around, I'll use a qualifier tool to select the tones around this background. So I'll click the eyedropper tool here, that's the qualifier. And what I'll do is just quickly create a selection around it. Now it's important for us to see the selection because if I hit Shift H, you can actually see it's showing parts of my face here and it's showing part of this, and that's part of the selection. We don't want that. So let's refine it with the matte. So I'll go over here to the pre-filter and drag that up a little bit. I'll go to the black clip and then drag the blur radius as well. Just a little bit like that. And again, within the qualifier, we can still select what we want. I think that's a very good selection because we don't want the effect to be too much around the face like that. And with that selected, we can hit Shift H to leave that selection. And let's go over to our color wheels. And what we can try doing is just drag this down a bit. So I'm dragging the hue slider on the midtones, which is the gamma, slightly down, and you can see what it's doing. So if I hit Control D, that's the background regular, and this is the background that's cooled off of it. I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to leave it like that. In case you want to correct that a bit, we can actually use the curves to push this slightly to bring back some of that white, like so. And I'm just slightly darkening it a little bit. That's enough. The thing about color grading and color correction is you don't want to overdo it. And finally, I would like to add a nice little vignette around the entire image. And once I darken the vignette, it'll help keep the focus on me, not the background objects. So again, on the background, let's hit Alt S. I'll right click, create a new node label. I'll call that vignette. I'll use short for Vin, and I'll go over to the power window and click on this ellipse. I'll make it quite large so it fills up almost the entire frame. And I'll go over here to the blue edge and just squish that like so, and I'll drag that again. I want this to be around the outline, something like that. That's really great. And what I'll do is to invert this by clicking on this icon here. That's how you invert a selection. And once we've inverted that, let's go back to our color wheels. And here for the lift, I'm going to go down at the bottom where we have that knob, and I'll just slide that slightly down. And you can see what it's doing. It's adding a nice little dark border around this bottom. Again, if I hit Control D, that's without it, and Control D, that's with that selection here. So that's our vignette. We can make our vignette interesting by giving it a nice little color tone, but I don't want to overdo it, so I'll leave it like that. So that's our vignette. Also, what we can do is to soften the area. So this red bar here, let's just drag it like so. So that vignette has a nice little fall off. So if I go over here and slightly drag it down a bit, you can see that it's creating a nice little fall off instead of having a very harsh, vignette like that. If we drag it a bit to the left, we have a nice little fall off. All right. And if we have other elements in our scene, we can actually blur out the other elements to make our visuals quite interesting. So I'll hit Alt S and I'll right click and I'll call that focus. So with the focus node, I'll create another power window. I'll use the circle ellipse and just drag that around the face like that. I'll just drag that and just position it here. Make sure I have a little softness because I want this to be around the face, like the focus should be around the face. Next, I'll actually go to my blur here and I'll just drag this up. So you can see it's blurring me. So what I need to do is go back to the power window and invert that. And now what it's doing is blurring everything else and keeping the focus on my face. So, but this might be too strong. So what we can do is go over here, and for the radius, we can just drag the radius. So this is a very high radius. It simulates using a very powerful lens such that the lens is selecting a focus, but I'll just drag the radius around here. This is a low radius, nothing. So I'll just drag it around here. So you can see the focus is on our face. If you want to work on the skin tones, like you need to change the skin tones, I'll show you how to do that. So I'll go back just after our base node here. I'll select it, hit Alt S, right click, node label, I'll call that skin. And I'll use the qualifier tool to just drag a selection around the skin on my face. And let's hit Shift H so we can see what it's selecting. So it's selecting the skin tones, and let's clean that up a little bit. So I'll go to pre-filter and drag that up a little bit. I'll go to blur radius and just drag that up like so. So you can see it's just selecting the skin area. And for the clean black, let's just drag that a bit, push that for clean white a little bit. I think I'll drag clean black here slightly up, and that's it for the skin tones. So what I'll do next is go over here to the color wheel, hit Shift H, and just slightly adjust the skin tone. So here for the offset, this is going to adjust everything. I'll just drag this a bit. So you can see it's making me slightly red. If I set this to the center, if I drag this here, it's making me slightly green. So I'll just push this here like so, and that's it. We don't want to overdo it, right? So we can always click on this to reset everything and just test things out like so. All right. Now, if you notice the saturation might be too much, where we have our contrast here, this is where we boosted the saturation. We can dial it down like so, and you can see what it's doing there. All right, guys. So you've seen how you can take a video you've recorded with yourself and you can improve it. I'll also show you how you can export this in case you like to export this using standard settings. So here, let's say we're happy with this and we want to export this video. I'll go over here to the deliver page, and here I'll go to custom export. We'll give it a name. I'll call that EXP final. And for the format, I'll select MP4. For the codec, let's use H.264. Is a standard format or standard codec. And for the encoder, I'll leave that alone. And over here for the quality, let's use quality and our rate control. We can use a constrained bit rate, but I'll just leave everything at quality like so. All right. And with that, you can hit export and you're ready to go. Also, I'd like to mention that Resolve has some popular export formats. For example, this is a TikTok default export. We can export this for TikTok if we want. So now that I've seen this and I'm happy with this, I would like to export the entire length of the clip. So if I drag this and make sure we're zoomed in like that, we can get the entire video length like so. All right, so that's our entire original video length. So I'll go to the ending and hit O to export that. And remember, we've gotten rid of our audio, so we can't export this unless we bring back the audio. All right, guys. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.